that's not the lineup we got. We've got the semi-final coming up. I think it looks like Hollink down there on the pole position. Sean Brierley's down there, and Logan Sune we can see. So we'll be calling these names as they go out. It looks like, yeah, Dean Hale has made it. He's down there, and Ryan Smith. And yeah, so we've got some real heavy hitters in this race, and we'll call them as they come out. So we're just waiting to get the racing underway. They're just sorting out a few things with the track marshals down there. Spanners, we've seen some epic action already. What do you think we're going to see in this semi-final?
Well, I think this is the time when you're going to see people who know that they're going home unless they produce at any given moment. So looking at the back here, you've got people who are going to qualify. To start with now, in this semi-final, everyone's qualifying in the cart they're sitting in. Of course, when we get to the final, it's going to be single cart on track. Everyone takes turns in the same cart, and they're going to have a chance to qualify to make it super duper equal for the sake of the final. But in the semi-finals, it's as you were for the heats. So looking down in front of me here, we don't have a lineup for the semi-finals yet, but I can see Healy lined up in the 20 cart, Smith there. Some last-minute words though with the marshals. You're hoping that people aren't going to swap carts at this point. Actually, there's some very relaxed poses down there as well.
Yes, it is. I mean, you look there, that's Dean Hale, and he's kind of got his leg out the cart. He's chatting with one of the circuit marshals there. And yeah, Lee Hackett behind. Look at the eyes of Lee Hackett. There he is behind. Lee Hackett's in the white helmet there, double British champion. So you've got the very relaxed Dean Hale there in the number 12, but behind in the 21, look at the difference in eyes, Dean Hale to Lee Hackett there.
You're supposed to keep your hands and arms in the cart at all times, I think.
Yes, you are.
That's part of the video as well.
Dean Hale looks like he's, well, just about chilling out, really, isn't he? Unless he's keeping the tyre warm, perhaps.
That could be a
there
tactic.
is the foot of Dean Hale, and it is, of course, the right foot, so it's the rapid foot. And so Dean Hale there, he is making his BRKC debut. There's Lee Hackett behind. And now the qualifying is getting underway. And so we were looking there at Dean Hale. But in this semi-final, we've got Marcel Hollink, we've got Sean Brierley, we've got Logan Sune, Marius Novicki, Dante Dillon. What a win by him earlier on. Dean Hale, who we saw, we've got Lee Hackett, we've got Ryan Smith, who I identified as well. Brandon Williams is there, and Dan Healy. Now this is going to be tough. Now, Brandon Williams, just want to draw your attention to, he's the only one in ages to have beaten Ruben Boutons in a straight fight.
Yeah, I think, well, he's beaten a lot of people this weekend, so he had 1 5th place. Apart from that, he's won the other 3, so he's won 3 out of 4 races. I think a lot of people will have been looking at him throughout the heats and gone, yeah, he's a real threat for not just the semi-finals, not just the finals, but a championship win possibly.
Absolutely right there. He is the potential for it. They're completing, well, one more drive to come through, Brandon Williams, and after that we will be completing the qualifying. So from here on in, it's a qualifying lap. Here comes Marcel Hollink. What can he do? He's going to set the tone, but Sean Brierley's fast.
Hey, and there's a packed balcony. You're all on camera. Can we get the people on the balcony to give us a big wave to the people watching on the live stream?
Okay, and meantime it's Logan Sune who's set the pace, and he's been beaten by Dean Hale. Dean Hale is provisionally fastest in semi-final 1. Dean Hale, Lee Hackett's come through, Ryan Smith's come through, but it's still Dean Hale from Logan Sune and Sean Brierley. Now Dean Hale is making his debut in the BRKC. One more person is Brandon Williams. What can he do? He's only 8th. Oh. Dean Hale is going to take this one from the top. The BRKC debutant, Dean Hale, has put it into 1st place. Logan Sune 2nd, Sean Brierley 3rd. This could be something, Spanners.
That's a big upset to see Brandon Williams only in 8th place, but he's still got a big points total. So even finishing midfield, he might still have a chance of getting into the final.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Now that's the way to look at it. You've got to remember, folks, especially those of you at home watching on the live feed, it's the semi-final 1, but it's not essentially knockout in the traditional British Challenge. Remember, we're running to international rules here in the British Rental Car Championship, and that means that the semi-final is effectively the right to continue scoring. 100 drivers started the first round of heats. We're now down to 30 for the semi-final, and they are in position there, and of those 30, 10 in each race continue to score. Luckily for him, Brandon Williams, although he's 8th, as Spanners pointed out, is in a position where he's got a few points in the bag. So although he may finish further down the order, he could well outpoint some people who are actually finishing ahead. So here they come to start semi-final number 1. Dean Hale leads the way. He's a debutant. He's a reigning Formula TKM champion. So we'll see what happens here, but he's switching to indoor. He's on the gas now. Logan Sune following, and Sean Brierley. It's a great start. Remember, these are some of the best in the world now, and Dean Hale is in front of him. So into the snail section. Spanners, it's the start Hale needed.
Brandon Williams not making any progress. He's stuck behind Rob Smith, so you'd be looking for him to make progress very quickly. Everyone quite smoothly through the snail section there. So no changes so far. Are these races 20 minutes?
Yeah, similar sort of time. So same time as the heats, the 20-minute race. But Dean Hale continues to lead. Now we come back to this old situation. Logan Sune, he knows a lot of the competitors around him, but he won't know Dean Hale. He won't know Dean Hale at all. And Logan Sune is second. So what is his plan going to be? Is it going to be to hit the front as soon as possible? Will we see some early pit stops? Oh, Sune all sideways. That's not how to drive in an indoor kart. And that's why it's cost him a little bit. But he's back on the back of Dean Hale. Sean Brierley running in third, looking good there. Onto the backstretch, a bit of a gap from Brierley back to Mariusz Nowicki building up there. Mariusz Nowicki, we've seen him, the former champion there in Poland, and Dean Hale is in the lead as they come around to complete another lap. Logan Sune is in second. Logan Sune, and we've got someone in the pits already. It's the 20, it's Dan Healy. Dan Healy pits out of this one.
Well, it's an early throw of the dice. So where did Healy start? Where's he pitted from?
I think he was around about 6th or 7th, I believe. So there is the race leader. That's Dean Hale with the British flag on the top of his helmet. Logan Sune, the Belgian, is right behind him with Sean Brierley, another British driver. And Sune is following Hale in. Hale very defensive already. Side by side, look like Nowicki on Brierley, but Brierley got in, and it's awfully sideways there. Someone getting pushed out of position. The 16, Nowicki's the big loser there. Brandon Williams is trying to make up some time. He's made up on Smith, but Smith comes back at Williams. Williams cuts inside of him, and I think Williams made up the space.
He did,
but
yeah.
There was a big load of confusion going down there. It's still Hale that leads from Sune, though.
Williams was quite lucky to keep pointing forward there, because Smith had his left wheel into his right rear. It could easily have ended in tears, but Williams gains a place overall.
That's exactly how to spin someone out, isn't it?
If you were trying to, I think Smith has been quite polite there.
Absolutely, and now Sune is already waving. I'm not sure whether he's he's looking back at Brierley as if to say, we can't really be pushing and shoving here. They can't afford to let Dean Hale get away. Now, Sune, of course, knows a lot of drivers around him from the international team, but he never will have seen Dean Hale before, so he has no clue about what Hale is like as a driver. And I'm not so much thinking in terms of how fast he is, more about how he is strategic.
Yeah, will he cooperate? Can he say to him, get on with it, or should he just try and get up there, up the inside, and get away as quickly as possible? We
Brierley
have a pit already. Who's this? 13. That's Brierley.
Brierley, one of the top British hopes, and so is Lee Hackett, another top British hope. So Sean Brierley, is it going to be green? Was that good? We'll have to double check on that one. Lee Hackett, former British champion, double champion. So yeah. Hackett comes out now. Sean Brierley, we've seen him get in trouble in pit stops in previous editions of the BRKC, but I think he got away with that one there. I think it was good, but cut very fine indeed.
Lee Hackett was running, I think, relatively something like 7th or 8th there, so he's pitted out of the pack to see if he can release himself, but he did have to lift off and be quite slow waiting for the green light. I think he might have set off just a touch early.
Okay, of course Lee Hackett couldn't have come in any closer to Sean Brierley without getting affected there. We'll see what happens with Sean Brierley. Oh, and unfortunately it was a bad pit stop. He was a sub-10 second when it was either a blinder or a bad one, and unfortunately it was a bad one. And look at Dean Hale, he's waving back to Sune, trying to do a deal, and I think Sune's looked at him and said,
all right,
mate, clear off. It didn't look like a very positive response from Sune, but we'll see what the Belgian has to offer. Of course he is, we keep saying he's a member of that Blue Star team. That is the top team outfit in all of international karting. Down the inside, Sune gone positions when Dean Hale's come back on him, and Sune's forced back in position. So any hope of a deal that Dean Hale hoped for has gone out the window really with Sune. Sune's shown what his intentions are. Yeah. Side by side down the backstretch.
Well, there's your answer, isn't it, to your deal? Sune's said a firm nope.
Absolutely, but look who's third. It's the almighty Dante Dillon, and it's Dean Hale into the pits. Hale, the race leader, pits.
That surprised me. Who does he think he's losing time to at the moment?
Probably losing time to getting punted around by Logan Sune. And Dean Hale, yeah, traditionally you'd think that blocking someone would be not a reason to come in the pits. Logan Suno would probably be keen to see a bit of clear space in front of him. He does need to pull away from Dante Dillon,
but
Dillon has definitely got the bit between his teeth this weekend.
But Hale's come out behind Healy and behind Briley, so I'm not sure that was the best move.
And look who's third, it's Brandon Williams. Brandon Williams is in third place there, and the most amazing thing about that is it's not just a case of, oh yeah, well he's made up because some people have gone in the pits. He's actually physically closer to Logan Suno than he was at the very start of the race when they were all nose to tail. There's your race leader on screen now, Logan Suno, the Belgian ace, member of the Blue Star Racing team. And Dante Dillon, Brandon Williams behind him. And number 16 there, of course, is Nowicki, the former Polish chap, and Ryan Smith in the mix there too, on screen.
Does Brandon Williams want to be here behind Dante Dillon? You start putting Dante Dillon under pressure and you put him into defensive mode, he'll go into defensive mode very well.
Yes, absolutely. Some strong defensive mode. We saw him win with some epic defending earlier on. And Dante Dillon is ahead of Brandon Williams. Brandon Williams is another of the drivers who've made a sparkling debut here at the BRKC. Brandon Williams, the only person to actually take a win from Ruben Boutens, arguably on merit. So an incredible performance there by Brandon Williams in third place. Ryan Smith in the pits.
Okay, Ryan Smith, does he gamble? He stopped a long way back from the red light to try and time it to get the best possible run. He's got that group of Briley, Healy and Hackett gone past him, but will he get out in front of Lee Hackett?
Yeah, he's side by side with Hackett. Hackett's done him. Hackett's gone around the outside, entering the snail section there, and Hackett has the lead. Well, not the lead, but he's in front of Ryan Smith, getting excited there. But Hackett has done what he needed to do. Lee Hackett, if he wants to become a 3-times champion, needs to be doing this sort of thing, and he's got a few ahead. He's waving back to Ryan Smith. Maybe he just wants to keep things calm and allow them both to leapfrog drivers ahead. So still we've got Logan Suno leading, Dante Dillon second, Brandon Williams third, Nowicki is third, Hollink is fourth, Briley, Healy, Hale, Hackett and Smith. Now Hackett and Smith are bringing it back. They have pitted, but we know they are very strong. They're not going to be at the back all race long. There is Ryan Smith on picture there with Lee Hackett in the blue suit in front of him. Lee Hackett, the Red Bull kart fight suit there. That's indicated that he was a kart fight finalist a few years ago when they were running that competition, which proves he was very good indeed, obviously alongside his double British Championship wins, one after another. So great show there by Lee Hackett, and the Scotsman Ryan Smith right there with him. Logan Suno continues to lead. It looks like we're all quiet in the pit lane for a bit. 12 minutes left to go, so plenty of time for pit stops, even if people are pitting early or mid-race. Cameraman focusing on the back there with Lee Hackett and Ryan Smith. Isn't it incredible to be talking about people at the back when you're dealing with Lee Hackett and Ryan Smith's back?
No, definitely. And if you look at Sunday now, I think he is probably the net leader if he makes a good pit stop. I'm not quite sure. Was it Healy that was out in front? No, it wasn't Healy that was out in front, was it? Was it Hale?
It was Hale.
Yeah.
Hale is 11.8 behind, so Suno has, he was wise to stay out.
Yeah.
Hale actually could have probably done was staying in front of him, as it turns out.
Yeah, I didn't understand why he came in then.
Yeah, he did question the move when it happened. At the moment, Suno we can expect to make a pit stop in about 10 seconds, which will put him where Healy is now. Dan Healy, of course, is in 7th place. So Suno pitted now, he'd be side by side with him. Of course, he's not going to want to do that. He's going to want to be well clear of quite a lot of people. I think Suno's going to have to go long run on this one.
So that's the key gap to watch, isn't it? It's Suno back down to Healy, which is currently 10.8 and growing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Suno is going to want to see at least 11-12 seconds on Healy for that. And maybe even the same on Briley. In fact, he's going to want to be as far up as he can. He wants at least 11 seconds on as many of those people behind him as he can, just for safety's sake. As I say to those watching at home on the live stream, we figure on around about 10-11 seconds at this level being what the pit stop's going to be. So if you can get that far ahead of someone, you can pick and come out in front of them without having to fight anybody at all. Okay, so Logan Suno continues and leads 16 laps in. He's got 2 seconds over Dante Dillon. So there's Suno on screen. There's Dillon, but look at Brandon Williams. He's right with Dante Dillon now. Now this is where the action could be, and we've seen some serious action from Brandon Williams. Brandon Williams is the only one who's been able to hold it to Ruben Boutens' spanners. Yeah,
there's some action though further down the pack, because Smith is really having a go at Hackett as well. I'm not quite sure where that's going to work out once everybody's done their pit stops, but they're certainly going for it.
Yes, they are. What they're going to have to do is be careful they don't over-go for it, if you like. because you know, if they take time out of each other, that's all to the benefit of this man here, Logan Sune, the current race leader. He is now 11.1 seconds ahead of Healy, so theoretically he'd be able to stop and come out in front of Healy. There's no way he's going to pit now, but that would mean he would be guaranteed out of the pits in front of Healy.
Williams all the way up to the back bumper of Dante Dillon as they go through the snail, and I think that is going to slow the both of them down, because Dillon does tend to go into defensive mode, and that gap now to Sune is 2.5 seconds.
Absolutely, and virtual can't manage a time, Spanners.
All right.
Williams in.
Oh, I don't know, because where does that drop him back?
That's the big question.
That
in
drops
the
him
hail
back
area,
behind Hale. No, I think at the moment he's got to either reassure Dillon that he's not about to thump his way past, or just settle for the fact that he's probably definitely in the final with a third place.
In fairness, they are running fast. I mean, Brandon Williams has to think about that. The thing with Brandon Williams is he's never had to think about things like that before, and that's going to be the questionable area. We've seen he's got the speed, but more than ever he needs the strategy. This is BRKC debut. We run to international rules here, so it's a little bit different to what you would expect a British karting event to be like. I mean, pit stops for starters. Whoever stops the car and pits during a race in the British Championship event, unless it's BRKC. But looking at it, Sean Briley's the fastest, but Dante Dillon and Brandon Williams are lapping within 0.2 of a second on the moment. So these guys, they might be nose to tail, but they are both very fast.
So potentially, actually, Williams is a net fifth, which then isn't as comfortable, because I assume there are certain perks to finishing higher up the table, even amongst those that get to the final.
Sort of. I think it's going to base the higher point scoring means you get the kart draw first.
Okay.
So if you're the top point scorer, you draw whichever kart you want, or maybe pick the kart. So you know, it will give him that theoretical advantage. So obviously during the tournament, people will have seen which karts they're kind of getting on better with, more than others. I mean, Formula Fast are renowned for getting all the entire fleet to within 0.2 of a second with the same test driver. Obviously, though, each individual driver will have their eye on a particular car that they feel they've gone on better with. Obviously, different driver styles create different situations within the car. But Logan Sune obviously has got a car he likes, because he is leading the way by 3 seconds now. Dillon and Williams are maintaining a high speed, and of course Logan Sune is the fastest on the track. He's got the record lap for this particular semi-final, and he is out there, and he is looking good, Spanners.
Looking very good, James.
There is Logan Sune on screen there. He's running on his own. In fact, you can see there's Sune turning in, and that's how far back second place is. Logan Sune, one of the finest in the world at the moment.
So I think the situation for Williams and Dante Dillon is getting worse, in that relatively they are losing that pit window to Healy and Hale at the moment. So I think, yeah, pit manager, what would I tell him to do? Ideally, get past Dillon.
Yeah, I mean, if we consider the time there on screen, this is beneficial for those of you at home watching on the live stream, but if you consider that 10, 11 seconds, probably more like 10 at this point now, with the level of drivers, we're looking at 3.4 seconds to 13.7 for Hale. There's Dillon versus Hale. So just, you know, in a little while, maybe Dillon could make a stop and stay ahead of Hale when he came out of the pits, and that's what he would need to do. Pitting now would be borderline suicide, but to do it in a couple of laps' time, he may have enough space and time to do it. Williams the same, a little bit further on in. So that's really what they'd be considering. Then they can see these gaps on the track. You know, there's various points around the track with a displayed screen. They've also got people, their own people, strategically placed, shall we say, out of view Spanners, you know, around the track. And we've been seeing some signals appearing on camera to random people.
Totally legal, of course. Into the pits comes
Marcel Hollink in the pits now. Marcel Hollink, he's in the middle of the race there. He was fifth. He's dropped a place to Briley. He's dropped a place to Healy. It's a good stop, but he's dropped a place to Hale. So Marcel Hollink down to 8th. In fact, Marcel Hollink is now dropped to last, behind the Hackett and Smith battle, and no one will be more relieved about that than Lee Hackett and Ryan Smith. Dillon, Brandon Williams in the 10. Look at the ease of movement through the corners there. You've got to keep it easy, or else you will be losing time. Dante Dillon, what a tournament he's had. He's had one race win in the bag. We'll see what happens to the rest of his scores, whether or not he makes it through to the final. But he's doing about the best he can to do that. Logan Sune is trying to check out. He's got a 4-second lead over the driver we're looking at, Dante Dillon. There's Sune coming out of view now, the Belgian. And here comes Dante Dillon, the local driver. And Dante Dillon doing everything he can in the 14 there. Spanners, it's been a great show from Dillon, hasn't it? It really has.
Yeah, and he tends to impress when he starts high up the grids and he can hold on to his position. And at the moment, he's showing, keeping Brendan Williams behind you is no mean feat whatsoever. So he's showing he can make that cart nice and wide. However, there is a price to that. And if you look back to Hale, it's now only just over 10 seconds. So I think Williams, he's not going to be able to hit. He's got to wait for now Dillon to get out of the way to roll the dice first. And see if he's got enough time to make a pit window. So it's not looking amazing as far as this race goes for Williams. 16.
Maris Nowicki, the former Polish champion, he's coming out of the pits now. He was quite well up the order, but he's going to tumble down because obviously those are pitted behind him, and he does go down to just ahead of Marcel Hollink. And Hollink is actually challenging for position because Hollink has speed, but Nowicki has got track position. And again, they've been leapfrogged by Hackett-Smith. This is playing into Hackett's hands. But you've got to bring that question about Healy, Hale, and where is Dillon going to come out? Because Dillon, it's going to take a blinder and pit stop to come out from Hale. It really is.
So we think that Sonnet can pit and come out in front of Healy into a net first. And I think then the question mark is over Dillon and Williams and where they can come out versus Hale.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Hale was the early leader. Remember, he came into the pits in front of Logan Sunay, the Belgian. And
released Sunay, though, didn't he? He released him.
Yeah, and that's exactly what's happened. He's released him. And there's someone in the pits. Yes, they are. It's Brandon Williams.
There we go. He's rolled the dice.
This is very important here. This is going to tell us a lot about what happened with Dillon. Where is Brandon Williams going to come out? He's waiting for the lights. It feels like forever.
It's not enough. It's not enough. I think Hale's going to have him. He's going to go around the outside. Williams throws his hands up. He's consigned to it. Now Williams is not stuck behind Dillon anymore. He's going to have Hale to take on.
Hale slices across the front of Brandon Williams as Williams came out of the pits there. Hale had the momentum, and
the leader's into the pits.
Leader.
Yeah, he's going for, he's stopped quite far back and he's gone for a quick pit stop. He's timed that well. It looks to have gone smoothly. I would imagine that's a good pit stop. He's out comfortably in the lead in front of Healy.
Okay, now assuming the kind of nominal lead, shall we say, is
there you go,
Dillon. Sean
Net lead.
Briley has taken. Now, what's happened with Sean Briley? Has Sean Briley been in the pits? He has. Well, in that case, is he not in the lead of the race overall?
Oh, yeah.
He's 1 second
Sorry.
up on Logan Sunay.
Wow.
Sean Briley could have pulled an absolute blinder here.
Unlike us in our race tracking.
The first stoppers, was it? In which case, Sean Briley has done the unthinkable and managed to leapfrog Logan Sunay.
He pitted very, very early, and he's craftily, unbeknownst to us, put himself in a winning position.
Shades of Tom Van Dyke last year. He's come from absolutely nowhere, so much so that we weren't even considering Tom Van Dyke last year. And, well, we haven't spoken much about Sean Briley in this race. And Sean Briley, when Dillon pits, we think he's going to assume the lead. And so Sean Briley, if he's made an early pit stop, he's on the money for the win here. We thought Logan Sunay had it in the bag, and probably so did Logan Sunay.
Well, bear in mind that Briley has, how many heats has he won? He has been a heats winner, hasn't
Yes, he has, yes. I'll have a look for that. Keep an eye out there on what's happening, Spanners. I'll have a look and see about Briley.
Will. So effectively in the lead of this race at the moment is Dante Dillon in the red coveralls and body warmer, and he's leading the net leader Briley. So Dillon's got to come in at some point, and you've got to think that Dante Dillon right now, he's coming into the pits, he's got an 11-second lead over Brendan Williams. Now that's key. He pitted, when Brendan Williams pitted it was behind him, and 13 is behind as well. So into the pits, Sean Briley hasn't pitted. We're going to have to...
OK, so now we believe everybody has pitted. Obviously, the question mark's over Dan Healy. For some reason, there was some mix-up there. We thought that Sean Briley had actually been in the pits. He has won a race. Clearly, he hadn't, and he's come out just behind the Hackett and Smith thing. So apologies to everyone watching this. We got a bit caught out there. Oh, Sean Briley had a drive-through penalty. That's what was going on. So Briley had pitted. We were right, but unfortunately a penalty. Yes, if you remember, we talked about it, and it seemed like he'd missed that green light at the end on the second stop. Yeah, absolutely. So
thanks to the production crew for straightening us out on that.
On it than we are, aren't they?
Well, we were right. We just didn't know we were right. But Dante Dillon has ended up, I think, behind Williams overall.
Yeah, now this is the final lap, and it's Logan Sunay from Dan Healy. What a performance there by Dan Healy to come second. Dan Healy is 2.4 seconds behind. It's going to be the flag this time around. Here comes Logan Sine. Semi-final one is Logan Sine, the winner from Dan Healy. And where is Hale? Yes, Hale is third. So Dean Hale first to third. Brandon Williams fourth. Dante Dillon is fifth. He got nailed by Williams there during the pit stops. Ryan Smith sixth. Lee Hackett seventh. Oh, Lee Hackett will be looking at that scoreboard to see what that means points-wise. Sean Brierley in 8th place. Marius Novicki in 9th. And Marcel Hollink in 10th. So Logan Sune, the Belgian ace, has taken this one by 2.5 seconds. There he is on screen, looking very convincing. Into the pits now. Is he going to make any practice stops? Because the next time he makes a stop in the final, no, he probably feels like he's done enough of that already now. So Logan Sune bringing it to a stop. There is the semi-final winner, surely booked himself. And there's Greg Laporte, the former world champion and one of the Blue Star team members and organizer, actually one of the organisers of the Kart World Championships this year taking place in the USA. We're going down to the pits and Spanners is going to grab whoever he can.
Joined in the pits by Brandon Williams, 3 race wins, but there you got a little bit bottled up. First behind Smith, and a big incident down here early on.
Yeah, I just didn't have the pace. I think that kart was a little bit off compared to the other ones I've had today, but yeah, luckily, because Dante's in my team, I've got a better chance to get for the final, so he's let me through on the last couple of laps.
Oh, he let you through? Oh, that's quite nice.
Give it that last bit, like make sure it goes happens, but yeah.
Got to be a surefire for the final. How do you rate your chances overall?
I think it all depends on like the situation of the race, really. It's whoever's going to get lucky with traffic and plays the strategy the best.
I presume you owe Dante a pint after that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Good luck for the final. Thank you very much. I'm sure he'll have a good showing. Look at that, the teammates, it's not just about the advice off the side of the track. They're actually at this point thinking, oh wow, we actually need to give up positions, and it looks like Dante Dillon has sent his teammate past him to give him a better chance in the final. So Brandon Williams representing that team. Over to you, James, for